Hi folks, it's me, Crafty Witch. Welcome to my channel. If you are brand new here, consider subscribing, hit the bell icon just so you know when I do upload a video. I upload sporadically. I don't have a set schedule for uploading videos. I'm on call 365 days out of a year. So my schedule is basically owned by my particular job that I'm in. So I upload videos when I can, when I feel okay and not so exhausted and tired at the end of the day. So hit the bell icon just so that you know when I do upload, because I don't have a set schedule. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back to the madness. So this book I received as a Yule gift just this past Yule from my sons. It had been on my wish list since it came out. It is called Slavic Witchcraft, Old World Conjuring, Spells and Folklore by Natasha Helvin. I'm only on chapter 2. I literally just got to reading this book yesterday is when I started, and so far I like it. I really enjoy it. There's not a whole lot written about traditional witchcraft when it comes to other cultures. It's really predominantly British focused. When I say British, I'm including the British Isles. So whether it's England or Wales or Scotland or Ireland, like that whole area, it's so heavily focused. And when people say, well, they're a traditional witch, it tends to revert to that area of the world, whether or not they've adapted the practice to suit where they're currently living. That kind of thing is just, a lot of it's from that area, and it just seems to be like such a predominant focus. There are traditional forms of witchcraft from other parts of the world, and Slavic witchcraft is one of them. When I found out I had Slavic ancestry, I've got like Ukrainian, Western and Eastern Russian in me. I'm like a whole bunch of different things. Like I grew up knowing I was about 7 different, I belong to 7 different, I guess, cultural, ancestral groups, that kind of thing. So like I grew up knowing about like the Irish and the Scottish and the German and the French and the Korean, the Ojibwe, like those kind of things. So I grew up knowing about that. And so that's always been kind of part of my frame of reference, my worldview, my understanding of the world through both a spiritual lens, a cultural lens, that kind of thing. When I got my DNA test done, however many years ago, well, 5 years ago maybe, I can't remember exactly, but when I got that done and I found out all these other things about myself that I had no idea, then it really sparked this interest in me to like want to learn more, and to include those ancestors. And I do a lot of ancestral work in my own personal practice. That's something that's huge with me. It's really important to me. Even if I have an ancestor or two that maybe I don't really connect with, I recognize the fact that 1 or 2 bad apples in the bunch doesn't mean that they're all going to be negative. And I think there's still value in learning about one's ancestral roots if possible. I know it's not always possible for some people, but when I found out I had like all these other ancestors, and their DNA flows through my blood, it really, I don't know, it done something to me. It really touched my heart. Like there's, and I say a lot. I've been criticized for that numerous times, but it's just the way I talk. It's just one of my quirks. But when I found out that I was like Greek and Italian and Spanish and Russian, and like there's Western and Eastern Russian, and I already knew about the Norwegian ancestry, and then I found out about the Finnish ancestry as well. Then I found out that there was Romanian, Syrian, like Indian, like from India. I already knew about the French. and finding out about the English. I didn't realize how much English ancestry I had. I've got quite a bit of English ancestry, as well as some Welsh ancestry and Icelandic and um, all these different things. And Korean was another one, and Pakistan, and uh, oh my gosh, there's so many. Like I can't list them all, but it really sparked an interest within me to learn more, to want to explore different forms of magic and paganism and magical systems from other cultures and countries, like, because regardless where we're all from and where all of our ancestors from, shamanism, magic has played a role in all of our ancestors' lives at some point in time. And I'm talking, like, whether it's going back 10,000, 20,000 years ago, it has played a significant role in our ancestors' lives, regardless like where they came from and that kind of thing. So I do a lot of like primordial type of magical workings and things like that. So for me, I connect really strongly to that. So when I found out I was Ukrainian and Polish and um, Russian and all that stuff, I was like, oh, I want to learn more about that. And so when this book came out, this particular book, I was like, I want to add that to my wish list and I want to get it sometime. But then it just sat on my Amazon wish list and I never did buy it. And then this past Yule, my sons bought it for me for Yule. They had no idea it was on um, my Amazon wish list. So when I saw it, I got super excited. They were like, chill, mom, it's just a book. I'm like, but you don't understand. I've been wishing for this book for a long time. And it finally came into my life. So I was really happy about that. Um, I'm only on like chapter 1 or 2, and no, chapter 2. Yes. Like I literally just started reading this and I really enjoy it so far. The only thing I wish she would have done, Natasha, please realize your audience may not know how to pronounce some of these traditional or names of places or deities. Um, like Peron, is it Peron? 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 I don't know if I'm saying that right. So I feel like I'm butchering some of these names as I try to pronounce them. Like certain names like Vladimir and stuff like that I know how to pronounce, but some of them I have no idea. Like Dashboga, it's a solar deity. I probably said that wrong and I'm so sorry, but I wish I knew how to say it correctly. I wish she would have included something in the back, a glossary of sorts, that has the names of deities or these places and like how to phonetically pronounce them because I don't know. And that really bugs me because I feel like I'm being ignorant and disrespectful, or rude to these deities by like butchering their names. So that so far is like kind of my only criticism so far of the book. I don't even want to say criticism. I would rather say feedback. Is it would have been nice if she included that, just so that we had an idea how to phonetically pronounce some of these names, because I don't know how to pronounce those names. I don't know what the proper pronunciation should have been, and so that's one thing about that. So far, she talks about how um, her reason for writing this book was really kind of based on some nostalgia on her part, thinking back to her childhood, thinking back to like her family and the community and where she grew up, and like the practices that they done. It was so deeply ingrained. It was just a part of their natural living everyday life, and I really connected with that because it reminded me of my mom and her family and my grandparents, and like how a lot of those practices growing up as a kid was just, it was like every day, and it was so magical. And then now as I'm older and I'm reflecting back, like I'm pushing 50, and I'm you know, looking back, and it's like, oh, I get that. I get that nostalgia aspect of it, and um, it kind of it's kind of bittersweet, um, because I mean, all those people in my life are deceased now, and it's like me and my kids. So yeah, it kind of takes you back to another time and another place. Anyhow, I think I'm going to really enjoy this book. I have no idea. So far, I'm really liking it. So if you've read this book, please comment down below what your thoughts are of the book, if you've already read it. And also, if you haven't read this book, but if you know about any good resources for Slavic witchcraft or paganism, can you please share them? Because I really do want to learn more. It is part of my ancestry, and I do want to honor um, that part of my ancestry by learning more about it. And if there's some things that maybe I want to incorporate into my practice, then I would like to do that respectfully, of course, and um, that kind of thing. So if you have any resources, maybe there's some good YouTube channels out there about Slavic that focuses on Slavic witchcraft, I would love to hear about it. Or if there's some good books out there besides this one, because now I finally have this one, um, can you please share them so that I can go and explore, and then we can share with other people here that might pop by the video for them as well. I think that's an important thing about the pagan YouTube community, is the sense of sharing and sharing those kind of resources with other folks. I know a little while ago I was talking to someone, and I'm sorry I forget your name, but we were talking about Romanian witchcraft. I'm also part Romanian, so that's something that I also like to learn about. And I've got, like, I'm trying to look at my bookshelf over here. I've got, I think, one book about uh, Romanian witchcraft, or like traditional gypsy witchcraft. And I know the term gypsy in itself is derogatory, but I think that was the name of the book. But it was written by Raymond Buckland, and I can't see it on my bookshelf currently. My bookshelves are a complete mess. But, you know, I had that book, and then I had some Russian, um, they were called Russian Gypsy, like oracle cards or something. So I'd share those resources with a subscriber or somebody that had commented on my channel, because there's not a whole lot out there. Like I said, the predominant focus when you talk about anything traditional witchcraft tends to always revert back to the British Isles and that area of the world. And I'm not saying that's, you know, bad or anything, but that's tends to be the more popular ones that are out there, and there's not a lot of focus on traditional forms of witchcraft from other parts of the world or other cultures. It tends to always keep going back to the British Isles. And even though that I am Scottish and Irish and English and Welsh, so it also, you know, that's a big part of my genetic makeup as well. But it's nice to be inclusive of other forms of traditional witchcraft. So anyway, that's my rambling. If you know of any Slavic witchcraft resources, please share them. Please share them. And let's learn more about other forms of traditional witchcraft. I can't wait to finish reading this book. See you guys.